Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am talking about 10 ways to just motivate you so you can get back into your routine or whatever you need motivation with. Cheers. I definitely did like way too much foam this morning. It's fine. So had a lot of people reach out like, love the YouTube, but like we're getting into spring. I need like real tips. Like, do you have workouts? Like stuff like that. Number one, I'm not like a fitness trainer. I'm more of like a health wellness person. So like think of your wellness wheel as me. I'm not going to just sit there and like tell you to diet and do a bunch of like ab exercises to like, that's not my vibe. But I can give you some motivation to get back on track, make it easier to stay motivated and give you positive energy in that way. The only reason I don't give people individual like workouts and whatever is number one, I'm not professionally trained for that. And number two, everybody's body is different and responds differently. And like maybe something that's working for me won't work for you. And then that will be very disappointing for both of us, right? So the whole goal is to motivate you and give you real tips that kind of are like worldwide, like internationally known, like things that will help anybody. So anyways, I just wanted to start by saying I'm absolutely going to give you tips that have worked for me. And I always give tips from my personal experience of losing 50 pounds. But I definitely will not ever say like do this one diet or do this one workout because it's always going to change. Like one day you'll be into this, then you'll get into that. Like it's an evolution thing. Like eventually what you do for a workout will grow with whatever you're trying to do. So just do it is real. It doesn't have to be a perfect 10. So like the first thing I'm going to say is just do it. And I know that can be annoying, but if you just start doing it, all of a sudden it's like 3 days in, 10 days in, 20 days in. Before you know it, you're like, wow, like I'm actually sticking to this. I think a lot of times the reason we don't start something is because we don't believe in it. So my second tip is don't start in anything that you're going to do until you actually believe in it. That's life, but also in fitness. Like if you don't believe that you're going to succeed on a diet, don't even bother starting it. If you don't believe that you're going to succeed by walking every day, stop walking for a second. Like get your mindset in check before you decide like, yeah, I'm just going to like go for a 10-mile walk every single day and like that's going to make me lose weight. You really have to hone in on like what you truly believe because you don't need it to be this all or nothing mentality. Like I said, I'm very much like the wellness wheel. I'm more about balance than ever because I know what it's like to be like too extreme with like eating whatever you want, drinking whatever you want, having fun. And I also know what it's like to like be in the opposite direction of like not enjoying any food, not enjoying any snacks, overworking your body. So to come into a balance is really nice. And what I really feel is that you have to ease into it. So wherever you are, I guess this is like 10 ways to get back on track. I guess we'll call it that. But wherever you are in your process, I think easing in and like writing down your workout or your meal plan or what you'll be doing just to see what you can get done for the first week is probably one of the best things you can do. The reason I say that is there's so many times I wanted to try something and I would write in what I was actually doing. And I realized that it was off with a lot of the things. So what would happen is if I wasn't doing that, like a few months prior, I would be disappointed, like, oh, that workout didn't work. But really, I wasn't working the workout. Like I'm supposed to be working out for 40 minutes and I was doing 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So sometimes we're like halfway committed. And I think that if you ease into it and you go, okay, I'm going to do this workout, but then like really track what you're doing, you can kind of see, okay, like I'm doing it, I'm sticking to it, but I didn't go like all the way yet. And then 2 months in, maybe you can kick it up a notch. But what I would say is like the ease in is the easiest way to not just get back on track, but like don't beat yourself up. If you were doing 6 months ago, you were doing, 10 miles a day and you want to start with 1 mile, that's fine. If 6 months ago you were doing 60 minutes on the elliptical and you want to start with 25, that's fine. easing in is actually the best way to tell your body, like, hey, we're going to do this again, but I respect you and we're going to do this in a very healthy way. So again, easier way into it. I mean, just do it is real, but just do it and don't put so much pressure on yourself to be a professional athlete when you are not at that level yet. And I feel like that's all of us, like around the summertime, around the springtime, we're like, oh my God, I got to get all this weight off. But if you treat yourself nice, you'll feel better. You'll show up for workouts. You'll feel better about yourself. You'll have more respect for yourself. All the good things come with that. But I was just going to say too, don't rewire your life in a day. Just go a little bit lighter. So the reason I say this is like, don't think that you have to rewire every little thing that you're doing. Like, for example, you want to try a new diet. Try the snacks, try a lunch. Like even one time my fiance is like, oh, I think we should get these like meal kits like delivered, like just for like dinners. And I thought that was a great idea. I'm like, that's great. They're already portioned. He's like, yeah, so I'm going to order it. It's going to be, and I'm like, pause. Like we should just try that for like 2 like nights. Like we don't even know if we like it yet. Like just do it for 2 nights and like see if you like it, if they're gross. Like we don't know what's happening. So what I'm saying is like, don't rewire your life in a day. Like don't just go from like, okay, I'm going to make my own meals and do my own thing to relying on like a meal prep service. Like, and the only reason I say that is I feel like people rewire their lives. And then at the end of a diet or at the end of a workout plan, they're like, what's next? Like for me, when I did Jillian Michaels, and I love Jillian Michaels, so don't get me wrong, whenever I talk about personal stuff, I'm just talking about me personally and like my struggle with Spider-Man push-ups. Okay. So Jillian Michaels, I have all her DVDs, like don't get me wrong. But when I was heavier, I was doing her workouts. Like I think I did them for like 90 days straight. And I was like so motivated and I was losing weight and I was looking better. But for 3 months of workouts, I was like, I feel like I should look like a supermodel. Like that was my attitude. I was like, Jillian, I feel like I've been here for 3 months now and I should be the senior vice president. Like I feel like I should look like a model. Like what the fuck? I've been here 3 months. And anyways, once that was done, I didn't know what to do with myself without Jillian. I was like, I'm done with these workouts. I'm not doing them. And then for like a whole week, I was lost without Jillian. So anyways, what am I telling you? Don't rewire your life and depend so much on a workout or on a diet that you end up lost in the woods by yourself, like holding on to nothing. You're just like, oh, I forgot I'm my own compass here and now I'm in the middle of the woods. Like, don't let something lead you into a weird path. Like any diet, anything like that, just slowly work it in. Don't rewire your life in a day is pretty much what I'm trying to tell you. If you want to change something, just change little things. Like I told you, like going from a large to a medium, boom, that's a change. Like just taking one piece of toast off your breakfast, boom, that's a change. Like just whatever it is, it's a change. So health is wealth is always going to be my thing, but that includes relaxing and stretching and all the good things. So I know you're in a rush to take off weight, and I was like this too, but it's really more of the mentality that you want to work on the most. So what I would say is like in your downtime, make sure you are training your mind as much as you are training your body. Otherwise, you're just taking the same beliefs, the same aggressions, the same emotions, the same aura, the same energetic field with you as you try to become a new person. You can't transform shit with that energy. So like what you need to do is work on your mind as much as you work on your body. And then you're going to be like, oh, I see what she's saying. You need to like relax and recover and balance as much as you need to push forward and work out and do the thing, right? So health is wealth is real. So always keep that in mind that that's how you feel. So if you feel like shit, you're going the wrong way. So I guess that leads me to the next thing, which is like The goal is to be healthy and happy, not deprived and like undernourished. So I'm a big fan of talking about this and telling people about this because I did this to myself. I was in such a rush to get skinny that it started to deplete like the nutrients in my face. And that's when I realized like I would rather weigh 10 pounds more than be at this Hollywood weight. I call it Hollywood weight because it's like that's what I would be if I was like on TV or something. I don't know. But it's not real for me. It's not realistic for me. I don't look good. I don't feel good, right? And like you know your body and you know how to work with your body. And I think the other thing too is like it's not that you can't get there. It's just that you need to give your body time to catch up to your new program and nutrients and stuff like that. So anyways, I was racing the scale at one point and I know from personal experience that it's just not worth it. You're gonna look like shit. Like your face is gonna look like shit. And anybody 25 plus right now that's like, who cares? You will. Trust me, 28 creeps around. You haven't been using eye cream, it's gonna show up. So you got to have nutrients, you got to eat healthy, and it's really more about not like the opposite, like fuel and train versus diet and exercise. You know what I'm saying? Like athletes don't count carbs in a banana. I mean, they let their trainers do it for them, obviously. But no, like they're not afraid to like eat and fuel because they're training all the time. And now, by the way, I'm not saying you can just like eat and fuel. And, you know, there's a lot of bad advice out there. Like one time I was running like a 5K, which is 3 miles. And someone's like, make sure you really carb up. And like I was already like overweight and like I probably had enough carbs in my stored in my body fat to run like 15 5Ks, all right? Like I didn't need to carb up is what I'm saying. So sometimes you hear like silly things like fuel up and do this. All I'm saying is just like when you're thinking about it, when you want to go into a diet, just remember you should be feeling better and you shouldn't be like freaked out or like, oh my God, I got to ditch all this food. I got to build Rome in a day. I have to, you know, write down every little thing that I eat. Just ease into it slowly but surely you'll figure it out. But I feel like the biggest thing is writing it down and checking in is like the number one thing. I always say this, but like get off your phone is so real. Like stop checking in with an app. You're not learning anything. Like you're letting the app do the work for you. And that's why you can't come face to face with what's not working for you. Like when you know your vodka soda counts and you know that you had 12 and you have to write it down, it's different. It's different. When you know you had birthday cake plus whatever little cookie cannoli things were going on and you have to write it down, it's different. It is. It's different. It's not just a numbers game at that point. You're also checking in with like how you felt and you're kind of like remembering and you're kind of like bringing in that feeling, bringing in that vibe. And you start to check in with what you're actually doing. And this puts accountability kind of in your face versus when you are checking in on a calculator, the app is doing it for you. And you're just like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm over on 55 calories. And it's like, no, when you have to write it down, it's like, it's a different story. You start to realize like, oh, I need to be more accountable with what I'm doing, right? Instead of letting an app tell you you have 50 calories left or whatever it is. So the next thing I'm going to say is start with a stretch. I say this all the time, but it's so true. Like get up in the morning, start stretching. Even if you take a break in the afternoon, like a lot of people are working from home right now. You know, stand-up desk is a real thing. If you don't have one yet, I would highly advise getting one. But standing up, taking a stretch, going for a walk, like basic movements like that is going to help move the energy and the emotions and the things in your body. So stretch as much as you can. The next thing I'm going to say is ditch the morning sugar. So I say this because you don't really want to have anything like sugary before like 12 o'clock. And the reason I bring that up is I used to have probably like 64 grams of sugar by like 8 o'clock. And you're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. So, and I looked completely different. I mean, like completely different. So I'll put like a blog post or something. I haven't done any editing on these at all. So I'll figure out how to like insert weird, ugly picture of myself here. But yeah, like my skin looked completely different. I hear people all the time like, "Oh my God, like you look so good," like whatever. But that's because I really changed like the way a lot of things, like mentally, but I think I also and energetically, like I started to like get that power back that I always had. And then also like stupid shit like 64 grams of sugar in your coffee, which should be illegal. I stopped doing that. So anyways, you want to get back on track. I'm going to give you a couple quick tips now that I have got my little speech out of the way. And clearly we need more coffee. Okay. So easing back into it, here's what I'd really say. Don't go to Whole Foods and go buy like all the vegetables and all the whatever. You need to eat balanced. So figure out your maintenance calories. I tell people this all the time. It's the only, I almost swore, only number you need right now. Why? Because it's confusing. Secondly, don't do anything until you actually believe it's going to work. Sit down and meditate, dig to the root, dig for the dirt. Figure out why you don't believe in yourself. Figure out why you don't believe in that workout. Figure out why you don't believe that you can succeed. Do it, because that is what's blocking your success. So dig to that. But once you have your maintenance calories, work it out real quick on a calculator. This is the only time I feel like a calorie calculator is okay, is when you really need to work out the numbers. Work it out. Make sure you have enough protein, enough fat, enough carbs for whatever you're doing, and come up with a couple variations. So, all right, I'm going to have this for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Here are my snacks, and then get 3 rotations going. So like you're not dying on the same thing every day. So you have that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, you have this, and then Saturday, Sunday, you have that. Like get your little meal plan going. That's how you actually build your own meal plan by yourself, without like going like without sabotaging anything, because you can actually put in foods that you love. You might not be able to have everything you love in one day. You can absolutely have a cookie. You can absolutely have a piece of chocolate. It's not going to kill you. And there's a lot of great healthy foods that you can eat throughout the day that are going to make you feel great. So step 1, free weight loss calculator. Just type in your stats and just get your basic, I don't move, I just sit there, I breathe maintenance calories. I tell everybody this because it's the only number you need. If you're under that, it could be like you're under it by 2 calories, you're going to lose weight. If you exercise, you burn some calories, great. Like don't add it into your food now. Don't go, oh, I burned 250 calories, so I'm going to add it back in. No. You probably really didn't burn 250 calories because everything's an estimate. So in the beginning, don't be like eating your workouts. The next thing is like love all the food you're eating. The best way to do that, like I said, is to take that number and then figure out like, okay, if I have, a grilled chicken salad, how much is that? Like, what does that cost me for the day? Like get your numbers right and you will feel so much better because you won't be counting calories all day. You won't be logging it. You won't be stressed out about it. You know what you can eat, and that's that. If you really want to get back on track and you really are serious about it, then that's what you have to do. You have to come up with versatile meals that work for you and your body and your meal plan, and then just interchange them as you see fit. The next thing that I'm going to say is you have to move your body in some way. So I know we all avoid exercise sometimes, but it could just simply be like cleaning your home. Start tracking your movement. They make plenty of like step trackers that are like literally $10. You can like clip it to your shoe or to your belt, or, if you're at work, you can clip it to, like I said, your belt or like the inside of your jacket pocket or something like that. But there's so many ways that you can add in, movement throughout the day that you may not realize are adding up to like big steps. So make sure you are tracking your movements, because that's inspiring and empowering to see, okay, I'm walking way more than I thought. This is great. Or sometimes you look and you're like, wow, I don't walk enough, but you'll be able to see it in real time. And then you can get up and keep walking. I think it's probably one of the best ways to track. I think that's why Fitbits are like, so everybody's all about the Fitbit, but that's just because you can see what you've been doing for the day and you have in real time to correct it, right? So that's why everyone's obsessed with that. But you don't need a $400 watch to do it. You just need a little $10 thing, clip that in, and it's the same shit. So you'll be able to see. And that's what I used to do when I was at work and I wanted to move more. And I got a stand-up desk. At the time I had a desk job. So I would take time to like just do a couple loops like around the dealership, or I would go out into the parking lot and walk in the parking lot and on lunch break or something like that. So it gives you that incentive to like get up, get moving, especially when you look at the time and it's 12 o'clock and you've only walked like 2,000 steps. So movement is huge. Being active is huge. And it also like takes your mind off things. So the next tip I'm going to give you for like getting back on track is don't like focus so much on it. And a great way to do this is to come up with some hobbies or some things to look forward to. So like, yeah, working out can be a hobby. It can be something you look forward to. But I would definitely say have something on top of that you do in the meantime. Otherwise, you might find yourself bored, snacking, watching TV, doing other things like that. So you got to have a hobby, do something. I'm all about the hobby life. Obviously, this is a hobby for me. But I really feel like pandemic or not, right? Like it just helps keep your energy stabilized to be doing stuff that you love to do. And then it keeps your mind centered and clear too. So you're not obsessing over, things that are not relevant, like your diet. Like how often do you need to think about that? Not often if you set it up right. So anyways, set yourself up for success today. Get those maintenance calories down. Just do no movement. You have the number. Here I am laying there breathing, and this is how many calories I need. And it's the only number you need right now, because later on you can get into macros. Later on you can get into crazy workouts. But like in the very beginning, if you're just trying to get back on track, like don't like kill yourself with workouts. It's really like move a little and just eat within range and you're good. Fly free. So that is it for today, guys. If you know me from my podcast, go check it out. If not, I did link below a couple little podcasts that you can listen to. Chelsea Swift is your spirit animal on Pandora, Apple, and Spotify. Make sure you check it out. And I'll see you on the next YouTube video.